in the play-in game Wednesday night, ESPN at 7 o'clock against the Golden State Warriors. We're going to hear from LeBron at some point when he talks to the media, but everyone holding their breath there. Midway through the fourth quarter, LeBron's still in the game. And by the way, playing the best he's played since he's come back from injury, 25 points in 27 minutes, lands kind of awkwardly and looks like he turns it a little bit, kind of limped off, Rob. We did see him laughing a little bit later on the bench. Don't know what he's feeling, but that was a scary moment.
Well, for me, I watched it closely. It's look, he just came down on the guy's foot, and when you have an ankle injury, you can step on a crack, and it's going to hurt. And I think it scared him more than it hurt him, because we know if it would have hurt him, he'd have went immediately to the back. So I'm not worried about it, because if you turn your ankle and you know you're coming back, any little thing can scare you, and it was the right move for him to come on out the game and sit down and relax a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing we all talked about is going into the playoffs healthy. So I think any little thing that happens to LeBron or AD or any of the Lakers for that matter, you know, everyone's getting a little bit afraid and scared, like Rob said, a little hyper because we've had so many injuries this year and so many guys out. So, you know, I was wondering how much longer you're going to keep him in there. I was thinking, you know, meaningless game, get them out. They've already got enough reps. But they are getting good reps, and you can see that it's beneficial to them just getting, you know, acclimated with one another again. LeBron, you know, distributing the ball, getting his groove on, finding his rhythm again. So they need the reps, but you don't want to see any kind of, you know, minor, you know, sprain or anything like that.
And that's where the Lakers were in a tough position, Rob, because they need minutes on the floor together. They need to get the wind back up. They're getting good reps, as James said. But, yeah, of course, you can't live in fear of what might happen. But then just that scare right there will kind of put you back in reality.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we as fans always like, oh, my goodness, you know, we can't get him hurt. And James and I can attest to this. We played. We never worried about injury because when you worry about injury, that's when it happens. So I think it was more important for them to get the guys out there, get them in a rhythm, because if you sit back and say, oh, we're going to hold you back, that adds on more rust. So I don't think, you know, as a player, they were worried about getting injured because you play the game. You can't play in fear. When you play in fear, you get in trouble. So that's how the game is played. And so I think we at home, we're more cautious than the players are.
Yeah, chances of you missing that last step at home is probably higher than, you know, spraining something on the court. So it can happen anywhere, on the sidewalk or in a game. So we just kind of over worry because we've had so many.
What did you like that you saw from him tonight?
I like the fact that he was able to sustain his stamina. He was able to, you know, play the game, get other guys involved, especially Drummond. You know, acrobatic moves, you know, sidestepping and then getting around people, exploding off of his legs. You know, that's what I like, the defensive sprint after he got a steal. You know, you want to see 100%. And tonight he looked like he was all there.
All right, let's go back to New Orleans. Andre Drummond is standing by with Mike Trudell.
All right, Andre, so now we know what's going to happen, right? It's the play-in game against Golden State. You will host it at Staples Center on Wednesday evening. What is your initial thought on how everything played out going into this one?
I think we look good, you know, being our third time being on the court together. I think we look really good. There's some things we need to work on, so I guess this playing game will be something we could use to, you know, get ourselves going for what's next.
Yeah, what did you notice most about playing alongside LeBron in AD, in especially these last two starts, these two back-to-back contests?
My job has become very easy. You know, they make my job very easy, and I make their job very easy. You know, I think when we build that chemistry, it's going to be a very, very scary thing for what's to come. Offensively, you know, once we spread the floor, you know, we click on all cylinders. Everybody has a chance to touch the ball. There's nobody's clogging the paint. Defensively, we're flying around. We're able to switch 1 through 5. So once we get that chemistry, it's, you know, it's nightmares.
Andre, LeBron did look to just tweak, or we don't know yet. We'll have to find out the ankle. He stayed on the court. I suppose that was good to see. We got a smile there. He did look good physically. Before that, did you get any sense of how he was feeling on the court?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good. I mean, obviously his play showed. He had 25 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. So he's all over the place on the stat line. On the floor, he looked comfortable. Obviously, it's his, I think his 5th or 6th game back. So, you know, there's a little bit of rust, but he'll be fine. We have a couple of days off till we play again. So looking forward to that and getting ready for that playing game.
And last thing for you, Andre, I know you can't think about the first round yet, right? It's all got to be about that Golden State matchup. You'll get a couple days to prep for it. Is there one thought that you have that's most important to think about?
Just play to the best of our ability, man. You know, it's a game that we know we can win. Obviously, they're having a hell of a end of the year. You know, Steph is playing great. We just have to do what it takes to beat them, and we can do it.
Andre, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And it's all set. Game of the year, Wednesday night. All of the NBA will be watching. Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors beat Memphis earlier today. Steph Curry had an incredible 46 points. He also had 6 assists. He had 17 in the third. So it'll be Steph and the Warriors taking on the Lakers. The winner moves into that 2-7 matchup to play the Phoenix Suns. The loser of Lakers-Warriors moves into game number 3, which will be the winner of 9 and 10, Memphis and San Antonio. The winner of game number 3, put them into the top of the bracket. Utah will take on that team, and they will be the 8th seed. The Clippers, unbelievable down the stretch, losing to Houston and OKC. OKC had lost 24 of 25. We were all watching that game. That loss puts the Clippers on the other side of the bracket if the Lakers can win on Wednesday night. So Luka will get another shot at the Clippers like he did last year in the bubble. Denver will play Portland. That is 3-6 right there. So it is all set for you, Big Game James. The West is gnarly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of raging going on over there. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get started. You know,
Yeah.
Regardless of who's playing who. You know, I do look at Dallas and Clippers. You know, Luka Doncic. You know, he's a superstar player.
They're not ready yet, Big Game. Mavs
Superstar
aren't ready.
player. The Denver, Portland, without Murray, that's going to be interesting to see. You know, but yeah. Let's get this game Wednesday and get a few days off.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you lose Wednesday, all of a sudden you're looking at the top of the bracket, and you're also playing in a do-or-die game on Friday. Rob, what are you looking at that bracket and thinking right now?
I'm liking it. I'm liking the Lakers' spot if they win on Wednesday. If you look at that bracket, I think it's set up perfectly. You know me, I'm all about positioning
And matchups.
And
You wanted this from the get-go about 2 months ago. You wanted to be on the other side of the bracket.
Exactly. And I think because if you look at all those teams that the Lakers are in, they have no dominant big men. Who can guard AD in any of that brackets? Nobody. So that's why I look at it. And then if you, on the flip side of that, who in there can guard LeBron? And that's how you look at it for me, because if you go up to the top bracket, you got Spider, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, who can all guard LeBron. So that's how I look at the matchups.
Here's the thing, though. We can talk about that. That's the fun part for fans, for analysts, for TV shows, for talk radio. But the Lakers and Warriors have one game and one game only in mind, and this is what the NBA has created with the play-in tournament. A lot of people complain throughout the year. I was one of them that didn't think a 7 seed after 72 games should be playing it. But guess what? It's here. And I was saying this earlier. You got to get on board with it mentally, and you got to be about it, or else you're going to be in big trouble.
Oh, yeah, you get on the train and you're going to get left. And, you know, it's here. You know, everyone talked about they didn't like it. LeBron didn't like it. But the more and more we've talked about it the last week, the more exciting it's gotten, the more curious everyone has gotten about it. So here it is. And, you know, people are going to be one of the most watched games on Wednesday. So, yeah, this is where now, no matter who you play, this is where your Lakers bread and butter, your defense comes back. You're getting LeBron, you're getting AD, you're getting the band back together. You're getting everybody back together. But your emphasis now, especially at the guard position, has to be lockdown defense the way they started the season. They get back to that. And I think, you know, you get your bench back. You're getting a normal starting team back now. Now everybody goes back to their original roles, and that's when the bench was kicking it. So I hope they can get back to that, get some time to prep for that.
Got good news.
What's that?
You know what it is?
LeBron's ready?
Well, he's not, but the other guy is.
Who's the other guy?
Mark
AD.
Gasol?
Oh, AD?
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
All right, AD, speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Anthony. So now you play Golden State on Wednesday in the first playing game for the right to go ahead and face Phoenix. What are your initial thoughts on how all that played out?
We control what we can control. I mean, we won the last 5. Did everything we could to put ourselves in a position to be 6 towards the end of the season. It was really relying on Portland to lose the game. They did what they had to do. So we're 6, we're 7th, and we're gonna face Golden State and do everything we can to win that game to head into to be the 7th seed in the playoffs.